AITA for blowing up at my husband for sending his family a picture of our newborn? Me F27 and Phil M32 have been married for 3 years. We both have families who want to be first in everything. Phil read me an article about boundaries and encouraged me to set boundaries for both families. I agreed and we made progress. As the birth of our son approached, we handled the family's requests. Both moms wanted to be in the room. We said no. Both dads wanted first photo with the baby, but we said no till they agree. Both families wanted to be at the hospital to see our son, but we said no, then agreed to host a gathering on Tuesday where both families get to see our son at the same time for the first time. No pics, posts or video calls till then, since I needed to recover. Everything was going well. It started when Phil secretly took a picture of our son and sent it to his family. It blew up. Everyone tagged everyone on FB. Mom and family saw not only the picture but posts my in-laws made saying, "We won in the end," or "Our grandson chose us," and 1-0 inches. Mill lied about taking the picture herself at the hospital. Mom called crying saying Phil leaked and shared pic of our son and violated the agreement both families had. Dad said that on top of the defeat, they had to deal with the propaganda and emotional stress from in-laws. I was fuming. I asked Phil if he sent his family a picture of our son hours ago. He said, jokingly, "Yesn't." I blew up at him saying we had an agreement and me and family respected it, but he and family OTOH were humiliating my family, ruining their joy and rubbing the fact that they got to be the first to see our son in their face. He said, "So what? My family should quit being overdramatic when shit don't go their way." I said his family are the ones with the overdramatic, passive-aggressive attitude. I showed him every post and tag they made and asked if he'd be happy if my family did this. He scrolled for a couple minutes, nodding and looking impressed. He said all he did was innocently sent Mom a picture since she couldn't stop calling, hassling and begging him for one picture. I said he still violated our agreement to not share photos till Tuesday, and this way his family will never respect the boundaries we try to set. I asked if those boundaries were just for my family to keep them at arm's length while obviously favoring his. He said, "That's my son. I have the authority to send a picture of him to whomever I please." Okay. Your family? The entire lot of them can either stef you and get over it, or wait for your sister to miraculously give them a baby. We argued some more and I refused to drop it. He said I overreacted, blew his joy, and made a big deal out of it just cause my family has nothing better to do than cry, "Woe is me," and wrapped up by saying I clearly was in menshed, too deep in the fog, and needed to cut the damn cord already. I'm thinking I might have been harsh. AITA? Context. Phil doesn't have the best relationship with my family. He thinks they are controlling and tries to exclude them from events while letting his family get involved in everything. He's not always home due to work at the local PD police department, but he still controls what events my family shouldn't attend. Also, my sister is infertile. That way Phil said, miraculously, and that hurt me on her behalf. NTA. For the record, I think both families, including you and your husband, making a competition out of baby milestones is really dumb. This is a child here, not a badminton tournament. Posts my in-laws made saying, "We won in the end," or "Our grandson chose us," and 1-0 inches. This is so fucked up and shows they have no concept of your son as a human being. But he still controls what events my family shouldn't attend. Yikes. And you had a child with this guy? What were you thinking? You had an agreement. Phil violated that agreement. And his family went full on nasty acting as if they won, because they got the photos first. Seriously. You married into a totally toxic, nasty family. And he's saying you need to cut the cord with your family. But he's tightening the cord with his. You blew his joy. Well, he destroyed yours and your family's joy at their grandson. It sounds as if you and the husband need counseling. NTA. NTA. He literally picked the moment you have needed him the most. One of your most vulnerable moments, and stabbed you in the back. Also the audacity of acting all bravado and trying to convince you are the one wrong? Nah. He just showed you that his needs of pleasing mommy are way more important than his pregnant wife, who literally just gave birth. But looking at his family reaction, honestly, what can one expect from that bloodline? NTA. I am petty as F. There is a very simple fix for this. Have your parents come visit your son first if he doesn't have to accept the boundaries you both agreed upon. Neither do you. Also, recognize that, unfortunately, you cannot trust your husband to honor any agreements you make regarding your child, and be wary moving forward. His family are asshats. Maybe I'm doing petty revenge here, but if my hubby acted like that first chance I'd get, I'd pack up some stuff and take my kid to my family for a few days and post pictures of them on FB. Let my kid meet my family, as I would not let my partner get away with talking to me like that. Is this even real? Always hard to tell with these stories where it's so clearly NTA. If it is real, Phil is enormously the asshole. It was him who came up with setting up boundaries. He didn't cross these boundaries. He obliterated them so his family could win at this ridiculous game show, and then made it somehow about you being too attached. If I'm you, I'm ending this with a public post berating all the players of this game. I'd announce that whoever involved themselves in sharing the pic without my consent is now blocked. At least until they start acting like normal human beings. NTA. If you had an agreement. You had an agreement, period. He is showing you very succinctly that his family will always come first, and seems like he won't be happy until your family is relegated to the background. I bet if you stepped back and looked closely, you'd see a pattern that is not going to change. It appears he is attempting to isolate you, which can be a terrible thing when you may need some support or realize things aren't working out. Phil is an asshole and is showing you his true colors. He only cares about his family. NTA. You agreed and he went behind your back and crossed boundaries he introduced. This is one of the first decisions you made together about your child. He betrayed you, went behind your back, and gave his family what you agreed you wouldn't. I'd keep a very close eye on this. He's shown you that his parents' wishes come before yours when making decisions about your child. ETA. I've been thinking about this. At the very first chance he got, your husband undermined a decision you made together about your child. I'd be asking myself if he set this situation up so he could play the game with his parents. You say he doesn't like yours. NTA. Wait till he leaves the house and take the baby to your family's home and photograph them holding the baby. Post that on Facebook and tag your husband and your mill. I'm petty. But your husband is an awe that showed you his true colors. He's disrespectful and an awe. NTA. Your husband sounds controlling and terrible. Why does he control when you get to see your family? That's not healthy or normal. Please take a deeper look at his treatment of you. NTA. And the grandparents are ridiculous, but since they took the pettiness to an extreme, then I would play them at their own game. My parents would get the first visit. My dad would get the first grandparent photo, and when they all came to visit I would take the baby to the next room and say I wasn't comfortable feeding on front of in-laws. Then I would ask my parents if they wanted to join you. Since they are your parents, I would take my sweet time. Then I would say to your DH and his family, the pettiness ends now. Respect my boundaries or it will stay this way. Me 1 in-laws 0 inches. Your husband tries to power play you, then you or your breasts power play him back. And yes, that is petty, but hey ho, rolling on the floor laughing, they would have pissed me off so much I would not care. NTA. Honestly, I don't understand the whole "I got the first picture of the baby" thing. If this is your first child, I'm sure there will be a ton of pictures to go around. But a simple solution could have been to put all 6 of you guys in a group thread and send the picture there. As far as you and your husband go, you guys had an agreement. He, as your husband, should have respected that. Regardless of anything else, he's not only disrespecting the boundaries set for your families, he's also disrespecting the hell out of you. NTA. But your husband and his family are extremely childish. Do they realize their son, grandson is a living, breathing baby, and not a trophy? This poor kid. You and hubby really need to sit down and talk. I really think counseling is in order. He's truly in denial about his family's boundary issues. How old are y'all? LMAO. NTA. But this is all so pathetic. You guys realize you gave birth to a healthy child and that people don't get that. Anyway, take your baby to your parents or call them over without your husband knowing and let them meet the baby and take videos. That way they met and held the baby first. It's only fair. Wow, no shock here finding out the husband is a cop. Esh. Your relationship seems just terrible. NTA. Your husband is a massive seriously this is toxic. He betrayed your trust to get one over on your family, and the way your in-laws behaved shows what a bunch of psychos they are too. Report the photo on FB. And seriously, why stay with this man? OMG, what do your families have against each other? This is a bit much and should be a happy time. NTA. And if I were you, I would leave everyone but my newborn child behind. Start a new life without all of these cruel, nasty people.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.